Every season of Survivor is a story. There are main characters, sidekicks, comic reliefs, and villains. A good season of Survivor tells a compelling story that has you rooting for someone and against someone else. You will want to watch episode after episode to see what happens next until it all finishes with a hopefully satisfying conclusion. Each story that we look at together will go through one character's journey from beginning to end, from the time they are introduced until they inevitably get their torch snuffed or win the game. We will look at every character moment and strategic move to determine whether they were a hero or a villain and whether they were a good or bad strategist. And with that, welcome to Once Upon an Island. For reference, we will only be observing what the TV show is showing us and what story is being told through the show. No future seasons will be mentioned, as the story and characters here have no idea about what happens in those future seasons. All character moments and strategic moves are interpreted with the mindset of what the story is trying to tell us, and with that, if you want to pick who I cover for story videos like this one, then consider supporting Once Upon an Island on Patreon. Every single month, we vote on what story videos I make. It only costs a few bucks a month and you can cancel at any time. Thank you for your support.
39 days, 20 people, 1 survivor.
Cirie Fields, now back for her 4th time playing Survivor, was a castaway on season 34, Game Changers, an all-returnee season featuring 10 game changers and 10 questionable decisions. Cirie safely falls into the actual game changer category, but let's recap her previous 3 games real quick to catch us up. She started in season 12 as a couch potato who evolved as the game progressed until an untimely tie vote at the final 4 did her in, as she had to make fire against Danielle DiLorenzo and she lost. She then returned in season 16 on a season with half returnees and half new players, as she dominated top to bottom, only to be surprised that the final 3 was not happening as it was expected to due to so many medical evacuations, and she was subsequently voted off in 3rd place. She then returned for season 20, where a heroes tribe that was a hot mess had her voted off early, as people saw how big of a threat she was coming off of season 16, and a good idol play did her in. Now she is back 14 seasons later, and this is a good time for her. So much has happened since the last time she played, and her threat level has dropped significantly. As Cirie says, she is an ex-couch potato.
I am a bona fide ex-couch potato that saw this game and loved it. I'm a gangster with a smile, like a wolf in sheep's clothing. I've made it to the end. What's the next step? The only next step for me is to win.
We then see all 20 players on a ship in Fiji. Cirie is on the Blue Nuku tribe with her past rivals Ozzy and JT. Jeff says, grab the stuff on the ship and get to your camps. When all this happens, Sierra finds a secret idol advantage on the ship and Cirie has no idea. Every time someone gains a relevant advantage or idol to Cirie's story, I'm gonna tell you about it, so just keep it in mind for later. Upon arriving at the Nuku beach, Zeke could not be more happy to be on a tribe with Cirie. As Zeke says,
I have like the greatest tribe ever. I've got the goddess Cirie.
We then see Ozzy, who despite having played a season between this one and Micronesia where he was wildly successful and almost won, says Cirie scares him because of how well she outplayed him on Micronesia. Cirie decides that she might as well try and patch things up with him since they never did this outside of the game, and she pulls the classic, we good line.
So we good, Ozzy? What's the deal?
Yeah.
I want a clean slate. I'm just seeing where everybody's good.
The thing is, with me and Cirie, it really wasn't anything because she just went along with what my alliance decided to do. So I can't hold that against her. But she's just not a physical player. She's not going to be a really physical player.
We then see Ty say that he likes Cirie, and she pulls an old-fashioned, say it with me, we good?
I like Cirie, so I don't want to get caught in something that suddenly they say Cirie have to go.
At the immunity challenge, her and Zeke work together to nail the puzzle and win immunity for her tribe. Now, the premiere of Game Changers is actually a 2-part episode, so we aren't done yet. The next day, she sees JT and Ozzy getting real close, and she is biting her teeth, hoping that they are not conspiring against her. She feels like if they go to tribal, she'll be target number 1. She then talks to Sarah Lucina and pulls an old-fashioned, say it with me, we good?
You know we're good. We're solid. Yeah. Only time I'm gonna write your name is if I'm not here.
I told Cirie I'm good with her, but if someone's gonna throw her name out, I'm gonna go with it. Last time I played like a cop, look where it got me. This time I'm playing like a criminal, and we'll see where it gets me. My word is not my bond in this game this time.
With Sarah telling Cirie she won't vote her out, and then in that confessional saying she's playing like a criminal this time, does not feel like the show is telling us that this is going to be an immediate consequence, but something that may come up down the line. Cirie then talks to Zeke and unfortunately does not ask if we good, but instead he just lays the compliments on thick by saying how she is a masterful player who has an incredible way of drawing you in. But right now, she is everyone's target number one. People have seen what she has done in previous seasons, and despite winning the last immunity for their tribe, they worry she will hold them back in the pre-merge. Cirie then talks to Debbie, who says she likes Cirie, but Cirie underestimates Debbie. Why?
I don't fully trust Cirie because she's feeding me what she thinks is counterintelligence. I don't know if Cirie understands what kind of training I've been through. I am a captain in the Civil Air Patrol. Although I don't get paid in dollars, I get paid in military training. So it's going to take a lot to outwit me.
Yes, another job title for the world-renowned Debbie, who has done everything except be the President of the United States. Anyways, Nuku goes on to win immunity, so Cirie is safe for now. With that long premiere episode, it is clear that Cirie is front and center and her life is on the line, despite how many times she says, we good. So the real question is, will those conversations actually do any good for her? Maybe. The longer she can avoid tribal, the better, as this is the part of the game she struggles to get through. If she can make the merge, then I think she is golden. If she can make it through the pre-merge. Episode 2 sees Jeff saying, guess what? Drop your buffs. We are switching from 2 tribes to 3 tribes. What? And this is just dumb by production, as we barely saw the tribe dynamics and things are already being shaken up. But anyways, Cirie is now on the new 3rd tribe who has to start from scratch with their shelter. So much fun. And she is paired with Ozzy, Zeke, Sarah, Andrea, and Troyzan, so she still has a majority from Nuku, if that even matters. Upon arriving at the new camp, Cirie pulls an old-fashioned, say it with me, we good?
Absolutely. We're good? We're good. Okay.
Her and Ozzy then talk, and Ozzy says, okay, Cirie, we good now. I think we should stick together and build up our trust again. And then at the immunity challenge, just like her and Zeke did in the prior episode,
Yes! Immunity and reward for Tabula!
what Cirie does not see though is Troyzan sneakily getting an idol after they win the challenge, and like Sierra's advantage, this will come up later. For the next few episodes, Cirie's storyline is placed on the back burner as episodes 3 and 4 sees her tribe winning immunity. So we move on to episode 5, where Jeff once again says, drop your buffs, we're going back to 2 tribes. Make up your mind, dude. This time she is on the new Mana tribe with Troyzan, Sierra, Culpepper, Michaela, Aubrey, and Haley. A true cast of not game changers for the most part. Anyways, at the immunity challenge, it all comes down to the puzzle, and
They do! Mana wins immunity! Safe from tribal council!
Episode 6 sees her tribe losing reward, and afterwards, both Culpepper and Aubrey open up about their personal experiences. Aubrey says Survivor has changed her as a person in ways that no one in her life can understand, and it sounds very negative. Whereas Culpepper says the same thing happened to his wife Monica, who he played with on season 27, and he just wishes he could relate to her and understand her and help her. Cirie talks to Culpepper, and
Pure emotion. I could feel it, like palpable. So real.
I appreciate that. I'm impressed with you, girl.
Likewise. I would like to shake your hand, but I don't know if they look at
Cirie and Aubrey both came up to me and just said it was so special you said that, because they saw the real me and surprisingly made us feel closer and really galvanized my relationship between those two.
their tribe wins immunity. So we move on to episode 7 and they show up to a massive buffet, but it's next to a covered up table and Jeff is there saying, you know what's up? And Cirie says something is up with this and she doesn't like it. Jeff says, yes, it's true, you're all merging, but to get this feast, one person from each tribe needs to sit out of it so everyone else can enjoy it. Culpepper and Ty take the hit and Cirie says,
Brad and Ty got brownie points because you provided for everybody in a sense. But that makes me suspicious because everything in this game is calculated.
We are officially merged. Everybody can drop your buffs.
After a big premiere episode, Cirie has been mostly quiet through the rest of the pre-merge. Prepare for that all to change now. She says it's all been fun and games up to this point, but now she's gonna have to step it up. This is where the contenders and the pretenders are separated. We then see Debbie pretending to be drunk, emphasis on pretending, and dancing on Cirie, and Cirie just can't stop laughing. Now, no one else knows Debbie isn't drunk. We only know this because Debbie tells us this. She's pretending so she can be stupid, basically. But after she dances on Cirie, I think Cirie needs to have the good old-fashioned "we good" talk with her. But then the mood shifts when Zeke tells everyone what happened during the previous tribal council, and since it isn't truly relevant to the story of Cirie, I will sum it up as basically, Varner let his big mouth run without a filter as he exposed that Zeke is transgender, and literally no one was okay with this, so they just held a verbal vote and got rid of Varner. But talk soon arrives of who the first merge boot will be, and word gets back to Cirie that everyone wants Michaela and then Haley out. What a relief after the target was on Cirie earlier in the game. Zeke then approaches Cirie and says, "Hey, you and we're going to the end of this game together." Great news. Glad to hear it. Cirie then talks to Michaela and gives her some sound advice on how to make it further in the game.
You're a very smart girl.
Yeah.
You have to control your emotions.
Yeah.
And you can't shut down when everybody else is talking. Chill out with that. Whatever's be going through your head, if you're hungry, get unhungry. If you're mad, get unmad.
And I gotta work on that.
I used to be that. But I've learned when you put that guard up, you push people away. And in a game like Survivor, you want to bring as many people in as possible. You don't want to be pushing people away or making people feel uncomfortable. It don't take a lot here for them to look at you. You can take that from this game too. Your reputation follows you. And people's perception is their reality. No matter what reality is real, what reality really is
what they think.
Is what they think. That's what's real to them.
Cirie and I had a real straight up heart-to-heart conversation because we do have a lot of similarities, and Cirie has skyrocketed in trust with me, and I'm extremely excited to play with her. This is a game-changing season. I don't know that I've seen two black women go to the end.
Never.
And you may have guessed it from my aura, but I'm one of them I want to show people that we can work together.
Right now, Michaela's public enemy #1, but I genuinely like Michaela. And as a human and as an older person to a younger person, you want to save her. And if I can do that, that's one person that I can count on to have my back.
Now, this is important because Cirie has heard of the plan Ciara has created to split the votes on Haley and Michaela, with Michaela as the main target, and she does not like this, especially if the worry is that Haley is an idol. Why wouldn't she be the main target instead of Michaela? This is a clear example of why Cirie is a great player and Ciara is in way over her head. However, Cirie informs Zeke about this and lets Zeke do the aggressive approaching of Ciara to say, "Hey, that's dumb," which then has Ciara mad at Zeke and not Cirie. Then, at Tribal Council, the split vote between Haley and Michaela takes place, and
This is to save your life and mine. Hopefully this brings us longevity in the game. It means nothing.
First vote. Zeke. Zeke. 2 votes Zeke. Haley. Haley. Michaela. Michaela. That's 3 votes Michaela. Michaela. 4 votes Michaela. Haley. Haley. 4 votes Haley. Haley. 8th person voted out, the first member of our jury. Haley. That's 6. That's enough. Haley, the tribe has spoken. Time for you to go.
Haley is gone. Cirie's plan worked. Now, like the premiere, this merge episode is double the length, so we go back to camp and Michaela says she is so grateful to Cirie for saving her life and she feels close to her now. Cirie says that last vote was the easy part. The next tribal, that's where the war begins. But then Zeke does exactly what Zeke did in season 33 and starts to do too much too quickly by flipping on the alliance. The same alliance that Zeke put together in the last episode. Brilliant. So now Cirie and Andrea are Zeke's biggest targets, and I am baffled. Just bad gameplay at this stage of the season. At the reward challenge, Cirie and Ciara blow it on the puzzle, and Cirie says, "I feel incredibly guilty."
You feel like a loser, am I going to do anything? Or am I going to be successful at anything? I had kids young, so I worked really hard to provide. I never wanted to be in a position that my kids needed something and I'm unable to do it for them. But this game, it takes you to the deepest, like, most hurtful places that you've ever felt, especially in a loss like today. To not be able to get it for them is like not being able to provide for your family. My family is my motivation, and I plan on winning for them. And I guess that's where it gets emotional for me.
It's not your fault, Cirie.
Unlike many players, Cirie is sincere and caring about the others, which is why I think she is such an excellent player in every season that she is in. We then go to the immunity challenge, which is everyone hanging on a pole for as long as possible, a classic that Ozzy has won every time he has participated in it. Cirie drops super quick, that's to be expected, but then in a shocker, Ozzy actually loses. Wow. Back at camp, Zeke goes behind Cirie's back to talk to Ciara, but then Ciara immediately talks to Cirie to snitch on Zeke. But right now, people smell blood in the water and see a rare opportunity where Ozzy does not have individual immunity. So at Tribal Council, he is voted out 7-4 to 1-1, with Cirie not being in on this plan.
9th person voted out, the 2nd member of our jury, Ozzy. Ozzy, job is spoken.
Good job, guys.
We then move to episode 8, where the reward challenge sees everyone split up into 2 teams, and Cirie, she's struggling hard. She can't even get herself out of the water to cross a balance beam.
Sarah not giving up on her teammate. Blue wins reward. This challenge is over, but we will stay here with you if you want to try to conquer this.
Just breathe. Look at me. Look at me. Just keep breathing.
Go, girl. There you go.
One of the most powerful moments on Survivor. That is what happens when you believe in yourself.
This quote-unquote inspirational moment is so important to Cirie, and I don't understand why Jeff is being so soft here when usually he's ruthless. Is it just because it's Cirie? I'm gonna say no, based on, no spoilers, how future seasons are with Jeff. This moment feels really forced, but unfortunately it is a watershed moment for the show. It shows a shift that it will be pursuing in the future. But what is actually important to this story is that during this challenge, Sarah gets a steal a vote advantage that she finds when no one is looking. Back at camp, Cirie talks with Sarah about flipping on the alliance that she has with Brad and Ciara. Basically, Cirie says, join me and you won't be a GOAT at the final 3, which is what you're going to be right now for Brad and Ciara. Sarah does seem receptive to this, but also is incredibly weary of Cirie's motivations here. So, at Tribal Council, the moment of truth takes place.
First vote, Andrea. Debbie. 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 Andrea. That's 2 votes, Andrea. Andrea. That's 3 votes, Andrea. Andrea. That's 4 votes, Andrea. Andrea. That's 5 votes, Andrea. We're tied again. 5 votes, Andrea. 5 votes, Debbie. 1 vote left. 10th person voted out, the 3rd member of our jury. Debbie. Need to bring me a torch. Debbie, the tribe has spoken.
Sarah flipped and helped Cirie to get the numbers on her side. Cirie is thrilled as she says control of this game has shifted from Brad and Ciara to her alliance. But this isn't season 12 anymore. She can't sit on her hands and expect to hold the numbers from here on out. We then finally see someone say, hey, let's vote out Zeke. This person is Andrea, and Cirie says, good idea, Andrea. Zeke knows this game better than I do. Now, Cirie may be right that Zeke knows it better than she does, but I would argue that Cirie constantly plays it better. She then talks to Sarah about this, and Sarah says, I don't want that to happen. Here is a sign of trust.
The advantage is I steal a vote.
What do you mean, I steal a vote?
Steal a vote. I get a vote again.
Wow. Okay.
And here's the thing. The smaller in numbers we get, the easier it is to get Zeke out.
Right.
Zeke, you're only getting the 6, buddy.
Okay.
I feel pretty good with Cirie. I think it completely calmed her and smoothed over the situation.
Well, very interesting. Sarah doing this will influence almost all of Cirie's decision about her moving forward, but this does not sway anyone else, as yeah, Zeke does need to go. Cirie says Sarah won't do it, but maybe Ciara will, which is great timing as Ciara comes over and says, yes, please, I'll vote out anyone but myself. When Sarah catches wind of this Zeke plan, thankfully her ire is on Andrea for the plan and not Cirie. So at Tribal Council, the votes are split as Jeff reads them, and
first vote, tie. Tie. Ciara. Ciara. We're tied. 2 votes Ty, 2 votes Sierra. That's 3 votes Ty. Zeke. 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 That's 4 votes Zeke. 11th person voted out, the 4th member of our jury. Zeke. Need to bring me your torch? Zeke, the tribe has spoken.
Episode 10 sees Cirie say, good, good, good. It's all going to plan. Clearly, my we good questions at the beginning of the game helped me reach this point. Now, she doesn't actually say this, and I'm sorry for lying to you about it. We good? What she does say, though, is that she wants to split up Culpepper and Sierra as they are a power duo in this game. But then, the reward challenge sees the family visit happen, and this is a big one for Cirie.
I have 3 boys at home. The youngest graduated high school while I was here.
Jared, come on out.
Tell me about your mom, Jared.
I'm so lucky. I hear some of my friends that can't even talk to their mom, and me and her are just like 2 peas in a pod.
We have a relationship that is like no other. I wanted them to be able to come and tell me anything. We talk about some things I might not even want to hear.
Despite not winning the challenge, she does get picked to go on it, and she says seeing her son reminds her how she wants to go to the end and win it for him. However, the plans to vote out Culpepper come to a screeching halt as he wins immunity, so the other half of the power duo is knocked out 5-3 at Tribal Council.
Sierra, the tribe has spoken.
Something that Cirie is unaware of but is important is that while we are all aware of Troyzan having an idol and Sarah having a steal a vote, Ty has also acquired not 1 but 2 hidden immunity idols, and after Sierra got voted out, she gifted Sarah her idol legacy advantage that has to be played at the final 6. Now Cirie only knows about the steal a vote, all those other idols she's unaware of. Anyways, Andrea approaches Cirie and says, hey, let's get out Sarah, but Cirie says, no, but we good? And at Tribal Council, Andrea is knocked out in a 6-2 vote.
Andrea, the tribe has spoken.
At the next immunity challenge, Culpepper wins immunity, and now you see why I labeled voting out Andrea as dumb. Why was Culpepper not targeted at the last vote? I have no idea, because this regular size episode has to fit in 2 challenges and 2 tribals, so there's no time to properly explain anything. But Culpepper really should have gone at the last vote. Andrea was not that big of a threat. She really hasn't been in any of her 3 seasons. Aubrey then tells Cirie that, hey, Ty wants Sarah out, and we immediately smash cut over to Cirie telling Sarah this, but Sarah doesn't believe her. However,
I will give you my advantage. Because if I get voted out, then at least you got it. Okay.
So I'm gonna give Cirie the advantage of steal a vote to hold on to. This way, if this doesn't scream loyal, I don't know what does.
If we all come back here and nothing went wrong, I'll just give it back to you.
Yes.
And I will never question your judgment again.
Yeah.
Well, Cirie seems to have acquired an advantage almost for free. She says, oh yeah, I'm playing this tonight on Sarah. Cirie then approaches Ty in a way that she knows she can manipulate him the best. That is, in her emotional state, since he is an emotional player. This scene gives me manipulating others in Micronesia flashbacks.
This is putting me at risk.
And we can
This
work
could
together.
get me voted out if I tell you. I have an advantage. They think that they're going to get you out tonight, and I think if I use my advantage and I get to take away a vote from them, and I want to save you with this vote. But if I say,
But nobody's targeting me, everybody's targeting Aubrey.
that's what they're telling you, Ty. They told me.
This is crazy.
It is
you
crazy.
just turn everything upside down. Cirie just says she has an advantage, that she can take someone's vote out, and she can use that vote, because everybody's targeting me right now, which is completely took me by surprise. Can I believe you?
When you see me stand up and play the advantage, you still can't believe me?
Okay.
Whoever we voted for, now after that, has the option to play an idol if they have it. And I think probably Ty has an idol. I maybe could tell Ty about the advantage, and I'm willing to use this to save him, that they trying to pull a fast one on him, but I don't know if he would believe that. Damn, could I pull that off?
So then, at Tribal Council, it's time to cast the votes. And
Jeff, so I would like to use this advantage, and this advantage will allow me to take away someone's vote and utilize that vote for myself, including my vote. So I am going to steal Sarah's vote.
Well, actually, that's my advantage, and I'm letting Cirie hold on to it, and it says it can't be stolen from me.
It wasn't stolen, it was given to me.
It's non-transferable. It says it in the bottom.
This is non-transferable and cannot be stolen from you.
Yeah, Cirie, the key word in there is non-transferable.
So she can't give it to me.
She can give it to you as a sign of trust, but she can't give it to you to use. Sarah is the only person who can use that advantage.
Can I have that?
This is a series of cringe for Cirie. It's so hard to watch. She then whispers to Sarah to trust her. She was just doing this for her own good to knock out Ty, but Sarah doesn't care. She steals Ty's vote and...
First vote, Ty. Aubrey. Michaela. Ty. That's 2 votes, Ty. Michaela. That's 2 votes, Michaela. Michaela. 14th person voted out, the 7th member of our jury. Michaela. Michaela, the charm is spoken.
Finale time. We're down to the final 6. Cirie versus Sarah versus Ty versus Aubrey versus Culpepper versus Troyzan. Who will make it to the final 3 and convince the jury to vote for them? Let's find out. When this episode begins, it introduces us to each of the final 6, with Jeff setting up how each of them have played so far. And for Cirie, he says,
This Survivor legend and perennial fan favorite has once again relied on social relationships and savvy gameplay. In her 4 seasons, Cirie has never found an idol or won an individual immunity challenge. But with the $1 million once again in sight, is this when it finally all comes together?
To stay in this game at this point, you have to see everything. And if you skip over the picture that's right in front of you because you're looking down the road, it will get your torch extinguished. Trust me, I know.
This episode is going to be incredibly hard to cover because by the end of it, we'll feel like, what was the point? Why not just show the immunity challenge and go straight to tribal? That's kind of what I'm going to do here because so much of the talking is just nonsense at the end of the day. Sarah says she felt betrayed by Cirie and she voted out Michaela since she was Cirie's right-hand woman. However, Ty then tries to lie and pretend that Cirie's true intent was to vote out Sarah, but then Sarah confronts him about what his plan was. And
You were gonna vote me out tonight.
Yes, because she told me.
I apologize.
I've been trying to tell you
I
this.
apologize.
oh, by the way, this is the episode where the 4 idols all matter. So we're really cutting through a lot of BS here. So in case you've been wondering why I've been telling you about them all video, here's why. Culpepper wins immunity. And Ty says, I don't trust Cirie. Even after she approaches him and says, hey, I'm with you, we need to get rid of either Sarah or Troyzan to stand a chance to reach the final 3 because they're all going together. Though I think it's fair that Ty doesn't trust her, she did just try to screw him last episode. However, at Tribal Council,
If anybody has a hidden immunity idol and you want to play it, now would be the time to do so.
I have an idol, it's a blue idol. I like to play for myself. And I have another one, a red one. I would like to play for Aubrey.
Any votes cast for Ty or Aubrey will not count.
I'm going to get on the immunity train and give you that because I just feel like being in the final 5.
I don't need a souvenir, so there you go.
All right? This is the legacy advantage. Any votes cast for Sarah will not count. Any votes cast for Ty, Aubrey, Sarah, Troyzan will not count. You could not vote for Culpepper. He had immunity, which means, Cirie, it doesn't matter what votes are in the urn because the only person who can receive votes
Me.
is you. And for what it's worth, not a single vote in here has your name on it. You are the 15th person voted out of this season. You become the 8th member of the jury. You need to grab your torch. You want to say it?
The tribe has spoken.
Thank you, sir.
so let's break this down. How is Cirie as a character Despite this season's brazen attempt to minimize any focus on the players as anything more than chess pieces for 99% of the episodes, Cirie was still a main character who was actually shown as a person. We constantly heard her thoughts as a human and as a strategist. Unfortunately, her beam crossing moment is super corny and a sign of things to come for the show later on down the line, as she really wasn't that bad in challenges. In fact, if it wasn't swimming and it was a puzzle, she was really good. Seeing her try to reconnect with Ozzy and mostly succeed was a neat follow-up to Micronesia, but the lack of us seeing her talk to JT was a bummer after Heroes versus Villains. This does happen in a secret scene, her talking to JT, that I showed in the Game Changer Secrets video, but the fact that it wasn't in the show proper just proves how focused this season was on the wrong things. But I think this reaction from the live audience says it all about Cirie this season.
What does that feel like, a standing ovation? You've given a lot. Take some back.
Out of 15 character moments shown on the show, 12 were heroic and 3 were villainous, making Cirie Fields a hero on Survivor Game Changers. Now, how is Cirie as a strategist? This is the Cirie we all wanted to see after Micronesia. Was she nicer? Mostly. Was she getting voted out 6th or even 5th? I don't think so. I am afraid she may have been in line to be voted off 4th and barely missed Final Tribal again, but had she made it to the end, like Micronesia, I think her chances of winning were extremely high. It is a shame that what I'm going to call Advantage Geddon did her in, as she had 0 votes cast against her all season, even at that tribal council. She was the master of so many votes and constantly had others taking the heat for her ideas in a way that made them targets and not her. Her biggest game blunder, aside from not finding an idol apparently, was her move against Ty and Sarah at the final 7, but ultimately that ended up not making a difference due to a bad final 6 design by the show. Cirie was screwed again. Out of 45 strategic moments shown on the show, 32 were smart and 13 were dumb, making Cirie Fields a smart strategist on Survivor Game Changers. Thank you for watching, and doubly thanks for liking and subscribing. See you all next time.